Have you ever had a dream so big that it scared you, yet every time you tried to chase it, something inside whispered, "You can't do this"? If you've ever felt that battle between who you are and who you want to become, then this story is for you. Because sometimes, it's not the world that stops you, it's you stopping yourself. But when you finally learn to master that inner voice, you can force yourself to achieve anything. So, stay with me till the end of this story. It just might change how you see your own life. Once, in a small, quiet town surrounded by rolling hills, lived a young man named Daniel. He was 26, worked a regular office job, and lived the kind of life that most would call fine. But Daniel hated that word, fine. Because fine meant average. Fine meant he was surviving, not living. Every morning he'd drag himself out of bed, scroll through motivational videos, watch others succeed, and whisper to himself, "Tomorrow, I'll start." But tomorrow kept moving further away. Daniel had a dream. He wanted to become a professional speaker, to stand on a stage and share stories that could change lives. He had seen others do it, and every time he watched them, he felt his heart race. But the moment he'd try to practice, fear took over. His hands shook, his voice cracked, and the voice in his head whispered, "Who do you think you are?" So, Daniel kept his dream locked away in the corner of his heart, where it hurt the least. One evening, after another long day of meaningless work, Daniel sat in his room, staring at his reflection in the mirror. He looked tired, not from work, but from the weight of unfulfilled potential. He whispered, "Why can't I just do it?" Then, almost as if the universe heard him, his phone buzzed. It was a notification from a video he had saved months ago, titled, "How to Force Yourself to Do What You Don't Want to Do." The voice in the video said, "Discipline is choosing between what you want now and what you want most." That one line hit Daniel like lightning. He realized he had been waiting for motivation, but motivation never lasts. Discipline does. That night, he wrote 3 words on a piece of paper and taped it to his mirror: "No more excuses." The next morning, Daniel woke up at 5 a.m. for the first time in years. It felt terrible. He wanted to stay in bed. But he forced himself up. He took a cold shower, wrote his goals in a notebook, and stood in front of a mirror to give his first speech, to himself. It was awkward, embarrassing, and painful. His voice cracked, his words stumbled, but he didn't stop. Every day he did it again. And again. And again. Weeks turned into months. The discipline slowly replaced fear. Daniel started recording his speeches and posting them online. Nobody watched at first, not even his friends. His views stayed at 0. He thought about quitting. But every time doubt crept in, he remembered those 3 words on his mirror: "No more excuses." He forced himself to keep going. One night, after months of effort, Daniel got an email from a local community center. They had seen one of his videos and wanted him to speak at their youth event. His heart raced. This was his first real opportunity, and also his biggest fear come true. What if he froze on stage? What if everyone laughed? The night of the event arrived. Daniel stood backstage, his palms sweating, his heart pounding. He could hear the crowd murmuring. For a second, he thought about running away. Then he closed his eyes and whispered, "I'm not here to be perfect. I'm here to be real." When he stepped onto that stage, something changed. His voice shook at first, but as he looked into the audience, he saw faces listening, really listening. He shared his story, his failures, his pain, his fear, and how he forced himself to act despite all of it. When he finished, the room was silent for a second, then erupted in applause. People stood up, some even crying. After the event, a young boy came up to him and said, "Sir, I was going to give up on my dream. But after hearing you, I won't." Those words broke something inside Daniel, in the best way possible. That night, Daniel didn't sleep. He realized something powerful: success isn't about being fearless. It's about doing it even when you're scared. It's about pushing through pain, through failure, through doubt, until your actions become habits, and your habits become who you are. Years later, Daniel became one of the most sought-after motivational speakers in his country. People often asked him, "What's your secret?" He'd smile and say, "There's no secret. I just stopped waiting to feel ready. I forced myself to act, and eventually, action created belief." And that's the truth. You will never feel ready. You will never wake up one morning magically motivated. But the moment you decide to act, not once, not twice, but every single day, something inside you will shift. The world doesn't give opportunities to those who wish, it gives them to those who work. So maybe you're watching this and thinking about your own dream, the one you've delayed again and again. Maybe you've failed before. Maybe you're scared. But remember Daniel's story. Remember that success doesn't come from comfort, it comes from courage. It comes from doing what you must do, even when you don't feel like it. Force yourself to get up. Force yourself to start. Force yourself to finish. Because one day, you'll look back and realize that the version of you who refused to quit was the one who changed everything. And if this story touched your heart, don't just watch and move on, take action. Like this video, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe for more stories that will push you closer to your dreams. Because your journey starts not tomorrow, not someday, but now.